I was just asking this last week too, but I like to ask people: did you have any deviant shit that you would do when you were like your shit that like for instance, we would once we got our licenses.
I was going to say microwave a cat.
No, that's a different podcast.
You ever
that's
leave
Legion of
your
Skanks,
neighbor's dog in their mailbox?
Yeah. No, like you ever just drive around recklessly with your friends or fucking
we did dumb shit. We used to spray the top of a tennis ball with like an aerosol can and light it on fire and throw it at things.
Don't you dare act like you didn't know what I meant when I said deviant behavior. What do you mean? Like this exact
Throwing
example?
fireballs around? Yeah.
Like this American Gladiator board?
Yeah, we used to throw it at like the bus that would go by on Boston Post Road. And then there was one time where a car like stopped and a mom got out and like was like, I have kids in the backseat. And I was like, yeah, we should probably stop throwing fireballs at kids. Like that's super dangerous, guys.
Oh my God. That's like that scene in Butterfly Effect where the mom goes out with the baby to the fucking mailbox and they put a cherry bomb in it and it just blows up the fucking baby's face. Yeah. God, that's a good movie.
I had like one fateful night in 8th grade, I guess. Like mischief. You guys had mischief night, right?
Yeah, of course.
Some people don't have that. I've mentioned that at Barstool and like either people who work there or like the audience is like, what are you talking about?
Day before Halloween.
Yeah, we fuck shit up. We do dumb like stupid shit that.
Where did those people typically grow up? Like maybe
Jared's neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah, the doorman. And then it's one of those things like I don't know. Looking back on it, I'm like that's like my least favorite memory about myself. That I was like, I think that's so trash. You know,
vandalizing,
fucking people's stuff up. It's like, but we were egging houses, and this guy ran out of his house. And I'll never forget. We all started running, and he like grabbed one of my friends, and then he like backhand punched my like best friend, and we all took off. But he got those two. And brought him back to his house, and kind of was justified because we were like throwing shit at his house, but also he was like punching and dragging 14-year-old boys. So like the cops ended up coming and like were like giving us shit, being like, because we almost got the cops ourselves, being like, I think my friend's being like kidnapped and raped in the basement.
Why are they
beating my
Why they're killing my friend?
And they're looking at us in like black hoodies and like hats, like, so what are you guys dressed up to be for Halloween? Like, you assholes, like we know what you're doing. And so they were giving us shit.
We signed up to egg houses, not be attempted murdered.
Basically, I remember kind of being like, listen, I know we're in the wrong here, but you got to respond like in kind. This is a little ridiculous. But yeah, I remember that guy. They were like, we were like, I was like collecting my friend at this little like local Pelham police station. It's like a little house, and I remember them like screaming at this guy, being like, "Oh, you're a real tough guy beating up 14-year-old boys." That was my first and last like vandalism. I was like, okay,
I remembered having my one of my best friends growing up figured out that power at so much earlier than me, and I was in awe. No, he was when we were 16 and fucking shit up and like mischief night and all that other stuff. There was one time where he got into an argument with some other dude that lived like across the street or down the block from him or something, and the guy came out, and this dude was like big, but he was definitely in his late 20s, and he was like puffing his chest at us, and we were all kind of backing down, except my one friend who was like, "What are you gonna do, pussy?"
Beat up a kid?
He goes, "You're gonna hit a fucking 16-year-old pussy? Go back inside." And the guy's like, "You're right. You're lucky I have a wife to strike." And I then went back to, but it was unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God, for the next 2 years, we're invincible, baby.
Right.
If that was Cat Williams, that kid would have been fucked.
Yo, that whole experience, I remember it led to my favorite excuse that I ever tried to play with my parents. They were like, "So were you out? Like, did you egg this guy's house?" And I was like, "Not that house."
Yeah.
Like I hit that house and that house. I did not throw one at that guy's house. I remember I just didn't have any eggs on me at that time. But not that house.
Egging was like the nice, that's like a, there's the TP and then there's the egging, but like my friends, we would paintball people. So it would like puncture shingles and the siding. Like it would be damaged.
Vandalism is only fun when there's no repercussions.
Yeah.
Like I remember my buddies and I put so much fucking hairspray on a bag of shit that we lit it on fire and it lit their front door on fire. Like it
they were never able to get out.
And then they all died in the flames.
You could read about it. It's
public record.
Yeah. But I had a house for like a minute, and I just like being a homeowner was like the worst thing in the world. I had to worry about shit I don't know. I had to fix things I can't. Taxes.
So you live in the suburbs now, but you rent.
Yeah. Now I'm back in like an apartment where I belong. I'm a renter.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, if I ever like saw some kids like trying to burn down my fucking front door, I would punch him in the face and bring him into my basement.
Of course.
I understood that guy in that moment. I was like, that's so fucked up, man.
I was talking to my sister about that, like during the riots and protests and stuff like that, and we were having just a nuanced conversation about it. And I was like, she's like, those people with the guns on their lawn. I'm like, and pointing it at protesters, and it's like, yeah, I mean, pointing at protesters is fucked up. I was like, but imagine people are coming on your lawn to fuck your shit up. She's like, well, I wouldn't care. I don't, she's super young.
On the other side of it. Right.
And I'm like, well, okay, now pretend my son and my sister's daughter are there, and they're coming to the house and fucking it up. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting hypothetical that took 1 second to come up with.
Yeah, all I was one stage
removed,
And it's such an interesting thing, too, when you think about how, like, and I guess this is strategy for anybody who hears this. If you're a homeowner and you have teenagers vandalizing your property, instead of getting mad, which is, I think, the only reaction kids are going for, is, like, them being like, you little kid, get out of here. You got to just being like, why?
You guys are
why? If you just ask a kid, if one person to us when we were growing up just was like, why are you doing that? That's causing me so much problem. We would all been like, I don't know. I'm so sorry.
That's too personal.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
it works.
I'll be here Saturday with the paint can.
I will say this though: sometimes a good adult beating, maybe not to that extent, is good for the rep. Because my buddy's dad, right, who's a short guy, definitely played sports as a kid, but definitely looked like a dad, right?
Yeah.
He their house, it's Halloween or before Halloween, the varsity quarterback who was like playing Division III football, so so he's like a solid athlete, could really run very fast, all that stuff. He fucking, because he's got a daughter in the same age, they lit up their house with eggs, and this guy ran out of the house, tracked him 3 yards away, and fucking shoelace tackled him at the knees, grabbed him, fucking got him, held him down, and was like, I want this known, never, and all your friends
don't ever do this again.
Never fuck with my house again, because shit will get way
worse.
That's where you just start punching the ground next to his head. Look what I could do.
You come up with grass on your knuckles.
Yeah.
And you're like this.
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.